4 ways to fight that never-ending uneasiness known as anxiety. In today's world, anxiety is one of the most common problems that we face as individuals. Many are suffering due to this prevalent condition, but it's possible to fight anxiety. Some experience anxiety more severely than others due to the rhythm of everyday life and the speed at which they take everything in and process everything. Despite the fact that it's a psychological pain, many people remain without an official diagnosis. However, that doesn't mean that it's completely necessary to visit a doctor to realize that you're in a state of anxiety and need help. What is anxiety? Due to the fact that anxiety affects countless people all around the world, many ask themselves this question. The person who is suffering anxiety is usually perceived to be hyperactive or restless in nature. The majority of those who are affected by this mental condition can't control this restlessness. Thus, it becomes very confusing for them. Unfortunately, the predominant emotion or thought associated with anxiety is always negative in nature. Those who suffer from anxiety are always expecting something bad to happen to them or those around them. In the majority of these cases, the person who suffers from anxiety is well aware of the existence of a problem or threat, but they are unable to identify the cause. Therefore, it becomes very difficult for them to control the problem. Types of anxiety. The medical community at large affirms that the more we know about the pain that anxiety causes, the easier it is to more effectively counteract its symptoms. Thus, we're going to more profoundly analyze the aspects of different types of anxiety. The general state of anxiety. This type of anxiety can be caused by a diverse and large number of factors. Once this type of anxiety is triggered, the person reacts in an anxious manner versus a calm and composed manner. Due to the surprising nature of this type of anxiety, the victim lacks sufficient psychological coping mechanisms. Thus, this can be a very unpleasant surprise. Anxiety as a personality trait. This type of anxiety refers to the type of person that has dealt with the effects of anxiety from a young age. In a large number of these cases, the anxiety presents itself during childhood. An unfortunate characteristic of those affected by this form of the condition is that they struggle with reactivity of any kind. Any situation can trigger an automatic anxious response. As a result, it can produce the persistent and painful feeling of uneasiness and worry. Ways to fight anxiety. Regardless of the fact that it is a widespread and complex problem, it's not always necessary to seek medical assistance for treatment. Luckily, there are many varied and successful ways to treat anxiety. Below, there are many ideas given that will help you fight anxiety. We strongly recommend you give heed to this counsel and use it to help you in your fight. Accept the anxiety. Like any other problem that we face, it is necessary to accept the existence of it, the causes of it, and all of the possible effects that it can have on us. Especially with anxiety, the more that you deny its evident manifestations, the more damage you can cause yourself. Thus, if confronted with an anxiety problem, one of the best things you can do is acknowledge that it's there and to not categorize it as something bad. Doing so can generate more problems than there already are. Detect irrational thoughts. You've already taken the first step towards successfully fighting it, which is accepting the fact that you are affected by anxiety. This acceptance will contribute substantially in your efforts to control it. Now, the next step is understanding that this will naturally prompt an endless barrage of harmful thoughts to your mind. The better part of these thoughts will be related to illogical or irrational fears or incidents. For this reason, it's imperative that you quickly learn to separate the logical from the illogical, the truth from the lie. An effective method of establishing a routine protocol to question your thoughts is to use a series of simple, basic, and easily answered questions to determine the logic of your thoughts. Although the assistance of others can be tremendously helpful, it's recommended that you perform this exercise by yourself and learn to question these thoughts on your own. Prioritize. Something is very clear in this life, that as time goes on, we incur more duties, obligations, and responsibilities. All of this pressure and stress naturally leaves a large burden on our minds. Truly, any person may react anxiously under the crushing weight of accumulating activities or responsibilities. However, it's important to keep in mind that anxiety lies dormant in our heads. Thus, we must be able to analyze ahead of time which duties, activities and responsibilities are most important to mitigate the stress we feel from so many things accumulating. Once you've completed the aforementioned recognition of important activities, consider slowing or stopping those activities that you have not deemed necessary altogether. After all, in the long run, they will only increase your anxiety. Take enough personal time. The schedule of a person not affected by anxiety is usually very busy. Nevertheless, the person who's accompanied by this mental gremlin is usually much more busy. In addition to fulfilling their normal tasks, they also have to distinguish and attend to their burdensome thoughts. Regardless of how difficult the day has become, you always need to take enough time for yourself. The extreme need for this time grows even more important if this time is employed for purposes of relaxation and tranquility. Many forms of relaxation exist. Some are more productive than others, but all help. Encourage yourself to watch a movie, practice forms of breathing and systematic relaxation in your own home, practice yoga or Pilates, participate in a dancing club or group, laugh, do a hobby you enjoy.